Fear told us to wait. Fear told us to hide. Fear told us we'd never be enough. But recovery taught us something fear never wanted us to know. There's nothing in us that can't be faced, and nothing in us that can't be healed. Hi, I'm a recovering addict. My name's Steve, and this is On Life's Terms. Fear. It's one of the oldest emotions we know, and for many of us, it ruled our lives long before we ever found Narcotics Anonymous. We feared pain, rejection, failure, success, responsibility, and most of all, we feared seeing ourselves clearly. But the truth is this: there is nothing to fear in the fourth step. When we first hear that step 4 asks us to make a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves, most of us freeze. Fearless? Us? The same people who used to run from every feeling? But recovery has a way of showing us that what we fear the most is often where our healing begins. Facing the word fearless. The fourth step doesn't say we shouldn't feel fear. It says we can move through fear. Fearless doesn't mean brave all the time. It means willing. Most of us come to the step 4 terrified. We wonder what we'll uncover if we look too closely. We think, if people knew the real me, they'd walk away. But the miracle of recovery is that when we shine a light on the truth, the shadows lose their power. The basic text reminds us, we found that fear was at the root of our defects. We were afraid of who we were and afraid of what we might become. The fourth step is how we start to change that. We don't take inventory to punish ourselves. We take it to find freedom. The fear begins to fade when we realize that honesty doesn't destroy us. It heals us. Why fear shows up. Fear in step 4 makes sense. Most of us spent years running from pain. We used drugs, relationships, work, or anger to avoid facing what was inside. We were afraid of being wrong, of being hurt, or of being seen. But avoidance only kept us sick. In NA, we learned that fear is often just the disease trying to protect itself. The moment we start looking honestly, the disease whispers, "Stop, don't go there, it's too painful." But here's the truth. Pain won't kill us anymore. Denial will. When we finally sit down with a pen and paper, something powerful happens. Fear starts to lose its grip. We begin to see that we've already lived through the worst of it. The inventory just helps us make sense of it. It helps us name it so we can let it go. The lie of the perfect inventory. One reason fear shows up is because we think we have to get it right. We imagine there's a perfect way to write a fourth step. The right words, the right format, the right order. But the truth is, there's no perfect inventory. There's only honest effort. Fear says, "I'll start tomorrow." Fear says, "I'm not ready." Fear says, "What if I do it wrong?" But recovery teaches us that willingness matters more than perfection. The only way to do step 4 wrong is not to do it at all. Many of us discovered that once we began, the fear started to fade. Because writing isn't about judgment, it's about release. Every word we write is a small act of courage. Every paragraph is a step away from denial and toward truth. Step 4 isn't about being perfect, it's about being free. What we actually find. When we finally begin to look at ourselves honestly, we often discover something unexpected: compassion. At first, we brace ourselves for judgment. We expect to find only shame, guilt, and failure. But as we write, we start to see the full picture. We see the scared kid inside us who just wanted love. We see the addict who made bad choices, but also keeps trying to survive. We discover that self-honesty isn't self-hatred, it's self-understanding. The steps don't ask us to condemn ourselves. They ask us to see ourselves clearly so that we can grow. The fourth step is not a list of our worthlessness. It's a map to our freedom. It shows us where we've been stuck and where we can begin to change. We begin to realize that there was never anything to fear in the truth. The truth was always trying to set us free. Sharing without shame. Many of us think, if I write it down, I'll have to tell someone. And that brings a whole new level of fear. But NA is built on honesty shared in safety. Step 5 reminds us that we don't carry the burden alone. When we share our fourth step with a sponsor, we bring our secrets into the light, and the power they once held disappears. Our sponsor doesn't gasp, doesn't judge, doesn't walk away. Most of the time, they smile and say, "Yeah, me too." In that moment, we learn one of the greatest truths in recovery. No matter what we've done, we are not alone anymore. The fellowship accepts us exactly as we are, and in that acceptance, fear has nowhere left to hide. The spiritual side of courage. The fourth step is a spiritual exercise. It's not just about writing down defects. It's about trusting a power greater than ourselves to guide us through the process. We don't overcome fear by thinking hard. We overcome it by surrendering deeper. When we pray for courage before writing, we are inviting that power to help us see the truth with love instead of shame. The same God who helped us get clean will help us face ourselves. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's faith in action. Every addict who writes an inventory proves that courage lives inside us. The same courage that helped us survive our addiction is now helping us rebuild our lives. And when we trust that process, fear loses its control. We discover that the God of our understanding doesn't want to punish us, only to free us. Turning fear into freedom. Many members share that their fear before the fourth step was worse than the inventory itself. The buildup, the dread, was all imagination. Once we started writing, we found clarity, not chaos. We stopped being haunted by the past because we faced it. We realized that the fourth step wasn't digging up pain, it was releasing it. Each time we named a resentment, we reclaimed power. Each time we admitted a fear, it shrank. Each time we owned a defect, we took one more step toward freedom. There is nothing to fear because we've already survived everything we're writing about. We are not that person anymore. We're clean, we're growing, we're healing. The fourth step doesn't break us. It rebuilds us. It clears the wreckage of our past so we can make room for a new way of life. The promises of step 4. When we complete our fourth step, something shifts deep inside. The shame we carried for years begins to lift. The lies we told ourselves start to crumble. We begin to live lighter. We walk into meetings standing taller because we've stopped hiding. We start to trust ourselves again, and that's a miracle for people like us. The basic text says we begin to understand ourselves and to accept who we are. That's the real promise of step 4. When we face ourselves honestly, we no longer have to be afraid of who we are. The past becomes our teacher, not our prison. And every time fear tries to creep back in, we can remind ourselves, we faced the truth once and it set us free. We can do it again. There is nothing to fear. The fourth step is not a punishment, it's a gift, an act of love toward ourselves. It's how we clean house so that peace, honesty, and freedom can move in. Yes, fear will whisper. It will tell us to wait, to quit, to run. But the voice of recovery is stronger. It says, pick up the pen, say the prayer, trust the process. There is nothing to fear in the fourth step, only freedom to gain. Because when we walk through fear, we discover the truth. The same power that helped us put down the drugs will help us face ourselves. And what waits on the other side is not judgment, but grace. I'm Steve, and this is On Life's Terms. If this has helped you, like, share, and subscribe so we can carry the message further. Drop a comment with one fear you've had to face today. And if you're new, keep coming back. One day at a time, one action at a time, we live free on life's terms.